Good morning. Today is Sunday, July 31st, 2011. I'm speaking with Mr. Sajid Christopher. We are doing this interview in New York. Mr. Christopher lives on Long Island. Mr. Christopher, now when people ask you about your desh or homeland, what do you say is your home?
Pakistan.
And where in Pakistan?
I live in Lahore.
And your any other ancestral village that you call your home?
Khushpur, Faisalabad.
Khushpur is the village. Faisalabad is the district.
Faisalabad is the district, and Khushpur is the village where my ancestors they came from.
Okay. Now, have you been to Khushpur?
Yes, I had been there almost when I was in Pakistan. Every year I was there when I was.
Can you tell us how is the village like? Is it how many people? Is it a mostly? I presume you're a Christian. You come from a Christian family.
That's right.
So is it a Christian village? Can you tell us a little bit about your village?
Yeah,
Socio-economic situation.
Yeah, Khushpur, it's a village. It's a part of Faisalabad district, and this was formed by the priests, Catholic priests. They had bought that land, and they brought Christians from Sialkot area, Sialkot district, and then they had just started that village, and the name of that village was Khushpur because the priest, Catholic priest, who had started that village, his name was Father Felix. And when we translate Felix into our language, Urdu, it means Khushi. So this means that Khushpur was formed by Father Felix. So
which is a happy village.
A happy village.
Happy village. Very nice. Now, how large was the village? How many people, approximately?
That's a very big and famous village in Pakistan, especially for Christians, because most of the Catholic priests and the Catholic Christian leaders, they have come up from that village, and it's a very popular village, and it's having a big population. And
4, 5, 10, how many thousand approximately?
I think the population should be somewhere around 4,000.
4,000. Now, how was your home like? Was it a concrete building? Was it a village made out of bamboo? How was your home like?
In my village in Khushpur, our home, that was a concrete building, and my grandfather, he had constructed that, and we had a very beautiful, nice house in our village.
How many people used to live in your home?
In that home, my grandparents were there, and my uncles, they have their own home in that yard, because in villages, you know that we have a big property, and then they divided to all their sons, and everybody had their own house.
So, how many brothers and sisters you have?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
And you grew up you said in Lahore, right?
Yeah.
How come?
Before me and my elder brother's birth, my parents, they moved to Lahore, and we were born after they had moved to Lahore, and I am the youngest in my family, and my eldest brother, he's a Catholic priest in Pakistan, and my sister, she is a teacher by profession, and my elder brother, he is a professional for accounts. He did his ACMA and MBA.
Now, you grew up, your father, what was he in the profession of teaching?
Yeah, my father was a teacher, and my mother, she was also a teacher. They were teaching in government schools.
In Lahore?
In Lahore.
Okay. How far is Khushpur from Lahore?
It takes almost 4 to 4.5 hours when we drive from Lahore to Khushpur.
That's a long distance.
Yeah.
But by bus, if average people drive, it probably is a 1 day's journey.
Yeah, almost it takes 6 to 7 hours if you drive by bus.
It's in the south? Khushpur?
Yeah, that's right.
South of Lahore, right?
Yeah.
Now, you, as a Christian minority, how is life like Christian minorities in Pakistan?
As a Christian minority in Pakistan, the life is very we have to live a very hard life there because we are discriminated a lot in every field, and just because of being a Christian, we can't get jobs according to our education and
How
what we
does
deserve.
it happen? That means if it's advertised, then there is a different requirement for Christians.
Because whenever there is any job opportunity, if people have applied there and there is one Christian and one is from Muslim community, they will always prefer to hire a Muslim person, even the Christian is more capable than that Muslim.
Really?
Yeah, this is just because of the discrimination, because in 1949 there was a resolution, objective resolution, and in that resolution it was passed that Islam will be the religion of the state, and all the big positions in the country like president or prime minister or the heads of all big provinces and institutions, they will be from Muslims.
Okay.
And from that day Pakistan had started problems with the discrimination, and it was just discriminating the religious minorities, even they are Christians or Hindus or Sikhs. So the minorities, they were just considered as second-class citizens in the country.
Oh, now I suppose you mean it's a discussion in the parliament, the restriction in the parliament, resolution in the parliament.
Yeah, that's right.
Then that's what you mean. Now, so do you have? You still have the house in Khushpur? Still have your family ancestral home there?
Yes, we do have.
And how many generations your family lived in Khushpur?
In Khushpur, this is our fourth generation.
Fourth generation.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned about other minorities, Hindus and Sikhs. Were there any Hindu or Sikh minority in Khushpur or nearby? Have you ever seen any?
Not in Khushpur, because as I just mentioned before, that
it's a Catholic.
It's a Christian village.
It's a Christian village.
Yeah, but there are some Hindus or Sikhs in the surroundings or the neighborhood areas, but not in Khushpur.
Okay. What about in your life in Lahore? Is it any different from Khushpur, or you think there is? No, I'm not talking about you, but I mean in general for Christians, life in Lahore, is it any different, any better or worse than in Khushpur?
In Khushpur, because that's a village and people don't have a lot access to each other, and Lahore, it's a big city, and so we have more opportunities there for education or for employment. But since it's a big city also, and in Punjab you see that the intolerance and discrimination is just growing a lot. So in Lahore we do have lots of problems being Christians, but at the same time, because it's a big city, people want to move to big cities for education or for employment.
And that's where they face discrimination.
Yeah, there is a lot of discrimination we have to face, even in schools, in employment places, and in the society.
Have you ever heard of any physical violence against Christians?
Yes, there had been lots of incidents. Even in 2005, when I was in Pakistan, there is a city called Sangla Hill, and this is very close by to Faisalabad district. And a mob of Muslim people, they came, thousands of people came, and they attacked on Christian residences. They burnt the Christian homes. They had a very dangerous Christian homes. They had a very dangerous chemical with them, and they burnt the homes and they destroyed the churches and schools. And
did you visit them?
Yes, we were there because I went there on the very first day with my organization, Human Friends Organization.
Okay.
We did the fact finding and we interviewed people, and we wanted to know the facts that how this incident was happened.
Okay. So do you think that was instigated by somebody, or it was just a spontaneous attack by Muslims?
That was instigated by the Maulana or Maulvi of that mosque in that area, and he had announced on a speaker, and people, they were gathered, and thousands of people they attacked. And just last year again we had problems in Gojra. There is a big city, Gojra. In Gojra also a Muslim mob, they attacked Christian homes and Christian churches, and then there was a lot of problem that both sides they were using weapons, because Christians when they saw that these Muslims they are going to kill them, so they had for their protection they also used their guns and weapons to protect. And the ruling party in Punjab province, Pakistan Muslim League and Nawaz Sharif group, their party's leadership in that area in Gujrat district, they were backing up all that attacks on Christians.
Okay. Were there Muslims who came to protect you?
None of the Muslims came to protect. Even the policemen, the highly police officials, they were not even there to protect. And then after the incident had taken place, then Shahbaz Bhatti, who was the federal minister, and other religious minority leaders, they had taken a stand, and President of Pakistan, he had taken action on that, and he sent people there to do the investigation. And after those investigations, those highly police officials, they were suspended because they couldn't provide protection and they couldn't stop this violence or these attacks on Christians.
Have most, as far as you know, has any Christians then or in your family left the country because of this intolerance, or they all stayed back?
There are people who had to leave country because of this violence or intolerance in the country, and some of them are in European countries, some of them are in United States, in Canada, or some other Asian countries. And even people, they don't want to leave their country because they have their roots there, they have their families there, but people have to leave the country to protect themselves and protect their families,
their lives and property. In your neighborhood, is it then safe for you, where you live in Lahore? The name of the neighborhood, Yohanabad. Is it all right, safe for you to live?
When we are living in that particular area only, we feel ourselves safe or comfortable because all the Christians are living in that area. But when we have to go out, all our neighboring villages, they are Muslim villages, and few times I remember that whenever there was a problem between Christians and Muslims there, or even if there is a United States or Pakistan problem, those Muslim villages who are in our neighborhood, they some of the times they announced in speakers that they were going to attack Christian people in our area. And so we are always very much careful about it, that because we are in their eyes, because this is the biggest population of Christians in Pakistan in one area in Yohanabad. This is the biggest area, and that's why all these fundamentalists or the extremists, they always look to Yohanabad whenever there is a problem. So they plan to attack on Yohanabad, and then the people, local people, Christian people, we always put our young people there on duties, that they are giving duties as a security guard or something, that to protect the people, so that nobody should enter into it and should attack on people.
Now, have you personally known anybody injured or killed in your lifetime?
Yes, there are lots of incidents which I remember that people were killed. Even I just give you the example in '95. There were three people, Salamat Masih, Rahmat and Manzoor Masih. They were accused for blasphemy law, and when they were taken up to the court, when they were coming out of court hearing, even in the yard of the court, they were attacked by the extremists with the guns and bullets, and one of the person, Manzoor Masih, he died there in that yard of the court, and two people, they were taken to the hospital. And after that, the judge of High Court, R.F. Bhatti, he announced the decision that he said that these people are innocent and he didn't find them guilty, and he released rest of the 2 people who survived. And those people, they couldn't stay in the country, and there was the government of Benazir Bhutto, and she had made arrangements with the Catholic Church to send them out from Pakistan. And the same night when they were released from the court, they were sent to Germany. And even I met them in Germany. I went to Germany and I met Rahmat Masih and Salamat Masih there, and they were innocent. They didn't do anything, and this was blasphemy law was misused against them. And then there are lots of incidents after that. Even if people are accused for blasphemy law, there was one incident that victim of blasphemy law was taken to the hospital because he was in a police custody. He had some problem. He was taken to the Gulab Devi hospital, and the police guard who was appointed for his security, he killed him in the hospital.
My gosh.
Yeah.
And was he prosecuted, the policeman?
No, they are just taken to the prison, and when they reach in the jail or prison, even they are very warmly welcomed by the people, and they say that you are the one who did a great job for Islam, and so they are very warmly welcomed there, and they are like a heroes.
Oh, what about the other guy who was killed with the 2 other gentlemen who went to Germany, sent to Germany? Was anybody convicted or arrested? Any of the killers who killed the first guy?
No, none of them was arrested, or none of them was convicted after them. Even they had those foul cases. Nobody even tried to bring them to the court that why you did that. And when they were taken to the Germany, after a year, the extremists, they had killed even that judge in his chamber, that who had given that decision that these people are not victims.
So it's really very, very serious and very tragic.
Yeah.
What do you think? In Pakistan, then the minorities, can they live peacefully ever?
That's why we have the civil society organizations, non-profit organizations, and I have also my organization, Human Friends Organization International, that we want to promote tolerance, we want to promote peace, we want to promote understanding, so that we people may live there peacefully.
Is it possible?
This is really very challenging and very difficult, but I believe that if we do interfaith dialogues, as we are doing interfaith dialogues, interfaith harmony programs, that we are engaging people from different religions, and we are trying to promote peace. And
but you're doing it here or in Pakistan? But you're doing it here or in Pakistan?
In Pakistan and here also.
Okay. So do you think the interfaith has succeeded in Pakistan, has made any dent or any? That is Muslim, Christian. Do you think life has changed for better for you?
This is a little start there, that we are able to bring people into our discussions and in dialogues and in programs.
Are you able to bring the people who really matter?
We have been successful in that also, because we were able to bring lots of leadership from Muslim religious institutions like mosques and madrasas. But if you say about those extremists who are really doing that terrorism, still we couldn't reach to that level of people, because we are working with people who are living in the society, who are the Muslim clerics, the religious leaders, and their political leaders and social leaders, and we are bringing them into our interfaith harmony programs.
And do you think your interfaith in Pakistan is able to give full rights to non-Muslims there, indigenous non-Muslims?
Yes.
Muslims, who, that is to say, do you think have they been able to work towards giving full rights to Hindus, Sikhs, Christians, Jains, who even predate Islam in Pakistan?
I believe that interfaith harmony is the best and effective strategy or tool at this point, because when violence against religious minorities is at its peak, the only way is because we are not giving awareness people to do revenge against revenge. We are doing constructive dialogues.
True, but
so
it is not in its peak though. Peak was in 47, 48, when almost all minorities were driven out of Pakistan, isn't it?
I think that now, especially from the time of Ziaul Haq, Pakistan has turned into a different state, because Ziaul Haq had changed the culture of the country, and he brought their extremism and fundamentalism and weapons and guns and drugs. So from his time, because he wanted to prolong his government, so he had promoted extremism against religious minorities, and since his time, the conditions are very worst, and even the discriminatory laws against religious minorities were imposed and introduced since his government.
Now, has you been your work, do you think work of Christians, minor Hindus, secular Muslims have been able to make any dent into changing those laws?
Yes, for that we are working that if we can get together the Muslims also with us, who can support our voice, then we will have a stronger and greater voice to repeal the discriminatory laws like blasphemy law, hudud ordinance, law of evidence. So we need the support of a majority people like Muslims also, if they are supporting with us, and that's why we are promoting interfaith dialogue, so that we can get more people with us from Muslims also, who will support our campaign or our advocacy to repeal discriminatory laws. And we believe that through dialogues, through interfaith harmony programs, a day will come when we will be able to bring a change in the country.
Very good. Now, I'm almost at the end. Do you think, because we are related to our Partition Documentation Project, that's why I asked this question, do you think anybody benefited because of partition of Punjab, partition of India? Has anybody benefited? Hindus, Muslims, Pakistanis, and others? Anybody benefited?
Yeah, I think that the Muslims and the Hindus, they were more in benefits, because Muslims, they had all the privileges in the country, they got all the properties, and they got all the positions and authorities in Pakistan.
Sorry? Yeah.
So I was saying that Muslims and Hindus, they were more in advantage of this partition, because Muslims, they got all positions and properties, and they got domination in Pakistan, and Hindus, they were having the same thing in India side, but the minorities, they had suffered because of that partition. Even we had supported Pakistan at the time of partition. The Christians of subcontinent, they supported that we wanted to be with Pakistan, and but after that it was proved that we were persecuted a lot by the majority, and we were deprived of our basic and fundamental rights, and we don't have access to the major positions and jobs, and even in schools also we are discriminated by the students who are with us and the teachers, and we don't feel equality there. And even in the books of our school and syllabus, it's written there that we are all Pakistanis and we are all Muslims, and we are working on that also, to change this syllabus and to take out all these things which are promoting extremism or fundamentalism, and we want to work for pluralism, and we want to promote human dignity.
Very nice. Again, so do you think Christians and Muslims can live together?
Yes, I believe that we can live together because we are from the same part, we have the same culture, same food, same color, everything we have same. Only the differences we have that we have a difference of faith. And through our interfaith dialogue and harmony programs, this we are giving awareness to people that if we don't interfere in the religious things, so everybody should have a right to exercise their religion, to practice their religion freely. So there should be a religious freedom. We are working on that.
All right.
And in a society, we should be equal. We should be treating each other.
Do you find any Muslims and Christians any difficulty in socializing when Christians and Muslims socialize?
At this point, there is a lot of difficulty to socialize with Muslims and Christians. Even I just give you the example that if young people, they are going to play in the playground in tournaments like cricket is the most popular game. So the Muslims, they will be having their mentality that the people who are playing with them, they are from a low cost or from a second class, so they will be treating them as a secondary citizens there. And the Christians or other minority people who are playing with them or who are with them, they will be always afraid from them, from their inner self, that they won't have confidence as they should treat equally each other because of these discriminatory laws. Even young guys or everybody is afraid of speaking anything because if there is any personal dispute, they will turn it into blasphemy problem.
What about for you? Is it easy or difficult for you to socialize with a Hindu minority?
I believe that with Hindu minority we feel comfortable doing socialization because they are also persecuted a lot in the country. Because when in Pakistan you say anything about Hindus, when a Hindu word comes up, everybody just have the perception that they are from India. And when you talk about Christians, the Muslims, they think that maybe we are from Western countries or we are from United States. But they need to understand that we all are from Pakistan. We are Pakistanis first, and then our religion come, and we love our country a lot.
Yes. Is there anything else that comes to your mind you want to say that I have not asked?
No, you have asked me lots of questions. It was a very comprehensive interview by you. I'm thankful to you. The only thing at the end I would like to say that we love our country, and we would like to live as brothers and sisters and friends in the country, and we want that there should be no discrimination on the basis of religion, and there should be a religious freedom, that everybody should have a right to practice and exercise our religion the way we are doing.
Okay.
So,
thank you very much.
Thank you.